is Agent Keith Wickham. Today is June 7th, 1972, and this is my first log. I have been employed by the government to help in the search and rescue of any civilians on the island of Sodor. To give a little context to what had happened here is everything that has happened these past few days. I am the driver of the Northwestern Railway's number 4, known as Gordon. It was June 5th around 3:46 p.m. We had just pulled into Croven's Gate with the express and were waiting for the passengers to board. I was talking with Stefan about the recent sightings of planes flying around the island. As we were talking, we saw another plane flying overhead. Then all of a sudden the air raid sirens began to blare out from the distance. I looked back the way we came, and my eyes widened as something was falling from the sky in the distance. I quickly ordered for everyone to get into the coaches, and I ran back to the cab. Just as everyone got on board, and the final doors closed, the sound of an explosion was heard in the distance. Stefan looked back in horror to see a massive mushroom cloud falling in the distance. We wasted no time, and I released the brakes. Norman's wheels slipped on the rails, and soon we raced out of the station. Limits and steam this from his systems. As we raced through the cast down, we saw boys sitting at one of the other platforms with a small passenger train. Just as we passed through the station, the shockwave hit. I've never felt anything so powerful before in my life, as the coaches were rocked back and forth and the windows were shattered. We raced over the cast-down rolling bridge and onto the mainland. We didn't stop till we reached Barrow-in-Furness.
Setzen Sie bei einer der Hauptursachen trockener Haut.
After several minutes, Molly backed into the station. We went down both engines in the coaches to check on the passengers, where we found several of the coaches covered in burn marks. Thankfully, the passengers were mostly alright. However, some were cut and stabbed from the window shards. Molly hadn't said much. She was worried for the other engines. I couldn't blame her. Gordon was telling her that everything would be alright and they would find the others. As As we were trying to figure out what to do, we saw Spencer racing beside us. He asked if we were okay and what had happened. As we were explaining everything, several armed vehicles and helicopters surrounded us. Men in hazmat suits exited and said that we were all to be put under quarantine and we could be highly contaminated. We were then put into a nearby building which the government had seized to contain people who may have been infected by radiation. After several days, nothing happened to me. Stefano, the engine survey, let us out. Gordon offered to go on the island and search for any survivors. This motivated Molly and Spencer, who also wanted to go. After some convincing, the military allowed us to join the expedition due to our knowledge of the island and its layout. So far, we've been at Vicarstown waiting for the researchers and soldiers to finish taking radiation readings. From what they've said, they've never seen anything like this. We found several survivors in the station, and Molly took them back to Barrow. So far, no signs of any engines. Based on what I've been told, this was a direct attack from the Soviets. I knew they had access to some big bombs, but never thought anything like this. Stefan is helping to set up camp and it's starting to get late. Hopefully Molly will be back soon. My hand is shaking and I'm barely able to write. Trist, what did I just witness? As we were finishing up camp, we got a radio transmission from Molly's crew saying they just got back on Sodor and we're almost at the Carstown. I was glad they were almost back as I was getting worried and we heard the sound of an engine in the distance. I was shocked. I know Molly was built for express trains, but there was no way she should have been back so soon. However, it wasn't Molly. The engine seemed to have been coming from the opposite direction. We were horrified to see Donald race past with a goods train. He was in awful shape. I can't even describe it. The radiation hit him hard, and I can only assume his crew was dead. Shortly after Molly got back, and she was petrified, saying how she saw Donald. She began to break down, saying how the bridge had been raised and could only assume he was dead. We're only 1 day into our operation, and this happened. I've already marked Donald as dead in the back of my journal. I can only imagine what happened to the other engines.